then you go on that road thinking you know it. Did I just make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You've been surrounded with.
You're going to go on it with a mentality of thinking it's just like the road you came off of. And God is not like the road that we just came off of. And so when you think it's just like the road that you just came off of, then guess what will happen? You will encounter all the same things that happen on that road, where you will run into or will present themselves on the new road. And so you will see no difference in it. So that is the reason why we all have literally seen people, or literally can say it about ourselves, that we've seen people where there was very little change in their life, even after them saying they love God. We've all said, can say it about myself, she don't act like a Christian. He don't act like a Christian. Based off of what we think one should act like. But it's because there was very little change that took place. Because the change, because turning onto the new road, the same mentality that was on this road was taking onto the new road. So then the new road has no type of power, no type of ability for me to learn what it wants to teach me. It doesn't have what it needs to get me where it needs to get me. This road is done. I don't live that life anymore. I'm not that individual anymore. This life is done. I'm now on a new path. But my new path cannot produce what it needs to produce because I'm still in the mindset of the old path. I'm still handling things the same way I did in the old path. Although I'm on the new road, and I'm wondering why the new road can't have the effects that it's supposed to have, but it's because I still got the old mentality. I'm still conducting things the old way. True, some things I may have shifted, but I didn't shift completely like I was supposed to shift. I shifted in the aspect of that I turned onto a new road because I realized that part of my life was over with. There was a dead end sign up ahead saying you can't go any further. So I knew there was no choice but for me to turn. So I turned. So I acknowledged the fact that yes, I did turn, but I have not embraced the newness of what this road has to offer. I'm still trying to make this road look like the road I was traveling on. Still trying to make it be like the road that I was traveling on. And when that happens, Christ cannot be formed in you as he ought be. When that happens, Christ cannot be formed. When that happens, you run into a whole lot of conflict. A whole lot of conflict. Let me show y'all something. When you're traveling on this one particular road right here, you have the encounter that you have with Christ is generally the encounter that is going to change your life. It is that encounter that lets you know you're at the dead end. I very few, or if any, that I would say that have had encounters with God and literally just was like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. The encounter with God is usually so profound that you know it's time for change. You know, and God usually meets with us at a point of when he's ready to change our lives. I'm talking about a real encounter with God. When he's ready to change our life, when it's the dead end, you can't go any further. You cannot move any further. And so that meeting with God is the powerfulest meeting, and it is the life-altering meeting, the life-changing meeting that takes place. It represents there's no more that I can go. That's it. It's surrender time. Hands up. I can't do anymore. I'm done. It's over with. I can't do nothing else. And so then there is the turn. Now we will do the acknowledgement of the fact that we made the turn. Yeah, I made the turn because I couldn't go any further in this. I couldn't do this any further. So I made the turn, but now wanting to take this here from this road over to this road. And then what happens is the reason why there is so much turmoil and so much of a lack of peace on this new road is because this new road is rejecting the thoughts and the behavior that is from the old road. The new road is saying, I got a whole different route for you. This is nothing like what you have dealt with over there. I need you to learn the ways of this path, because this path is completely different from where you have come from over there. And so this is where, case in point, where you find people that have become believers and have turned onto the new road, but they're having so much of a struggle on the inside. There's so much of a war going on in the members. The war is because they brought old things into a new place. That's where the war is. That's where the battle is. Because in the surrendering, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. In the surrendering, if there was a surrender at the point of turning onto the new road to say this is new territory, let me pay attention here because I haven't traveled this way before, instead of taking the same mentality that I previously had into a new place, then let me pay attention to things. As you are paying attention to things, you will learn new things, Delphine. You will learn new things as you are paying attention. You will see different things that this new road is bringing about, different things. Wow, look at that right there. Dog, I didn't know. Oh, wow, that's nice. See, you're learning new things, but when you bring an old mentality into a new place, you can't learn. You're so stopped up with the old that the new cannot, you miss all the beauty of what the new could bring. And then the new is literally now having to fight against the old. So that's what sets off a war inside of the members. That's what literally puts people that say they are believers to look like they are bipolar and schizophrenic. It is them two natures that is fighting. They brought what was old into what is new. And the Bible clearly gives a parable or a symbolic situation as saying that you cannot put new wine in an old wine skin that is going to burst the bottle. So that's what it's talking about. You cannot bring this old nature over into this new place. I'm talking this morning to y'all because the Lord is pulling all of us into a new place. He's bringing us to a new place. We are at the dead end. It is time for the turn to take place. He's bringing all of us to a new realm, but you cannot go onto this new road with this old mentality that you have had, this, oh Lord help me, this old way of thinking. You cannot go into this new place unless there's going to be a whole lot of war, and then you're going to miss the beauty. God help me this morning. You're going to miss the beauty of what God is trying to bring. God help me this morning. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. God help me this morning. You're going to miss it. 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 If you do not, understand in this new place, God help me, that you have got to pay attention. Don't come in thinking you know. But you better pay attention to learn the ways of the new place that you are traveling in. If you don't, This is why people that are believers, some will say Christians, literally look as though they're bipolar. Any questions or comments? I'm not finished.
Basically, you're so right, and the resistance of the change is what causes us to fail or delay our purpose. And I've been experiencing that lately because of, when we had the conference and the things that Prophetess Evans was saying, that the roles of me and my husband was about to change. And so when we are about to change paths and you're so used to doing things your way, you will resist it until the Holy Spirit prompts you, hey, I need you to stop resisting me because I need to have you in this role other than this role because I have a purpose for you. So, but yes, we fail. I know I'm just from my experience, just the resistance, it delays what God is trying to do for us, to do within us. So I've experienced that resistance in a lot of different ways that has prolonged my process. And you're right, it does make us look like we're crazy or bipolar or schizophrenic or something like that because we're resisting the work God is trying to do within us.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts. It hurts because you want to do it your way. But God said, no, I need you to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take on that new role, you can't put the old wine, like you said, in new wineskin. So guess what? We need to allow the Holy Spirit. Stop resisting the Holy Spirit. Stop resisting the role God is just trying to put us in.
We have to know, and I'm telling every one of you that's under the sound of my voice, and some that should have been, because I gave them invites. If I invite you, it's a reason, because I don't invite everybody. I post it publicly, but knowing it ain't gonna hit everybody. There is a new season that is embarking upon us. The new season actually already started. It started around September 23rd. Is when the new season began to start moving, when the dead end come about with us. New places, new territory, new purposes, new agenda. Say, explain new purpose. Yeah, I will. Every time God elevates, it's a new purpose. It's a new purpose. Every time, if you get a promotion on your job, you've got a new purpose. If you move into a new house, you've got a new purpose. If you get another car, you've got a new purpose. Because everything has its own rights of what it's meant to do or to be. So new purpose. It's all part of one plan, but that plan carries many purposes. Many purposes. What is the purpose for today is what we should ask God on a day-to-day basis. What is the purpose that you have for me today? What is my purpose in the plan? Because there is a plan that was already written for our lives. But the purposes, there's many purposes that comes about. You may be doing this purpose for a season and then another purpose for another season, while yet it is still part of the plan that God has for your life. So what is the purpose for today that completes or is a portion of the plan? What is it? What is it? You can take the account of Joseph's life and see how the plan and all the different purposes to go from having to be in the pit to the palace, all those things were purposes. but they were all yet part of the plan. You can look at David's life and see how he had to go from being a shepherd boy to being king and then being hid in caves. All of that was part of, those was purposes in part of the plan. So you have to see what the purpose of God is, and many people struggle with shifting in the purpose because they want the purpose to be the